Whoopi Goldberg kind of having a moment, shall we say, on television this morning on that show that I know nobody wants to watch. I don't know who watches it, honest to God. It's like we talk about it here because I like to expose the absolute extraordinarily just, patheticness, if you would, of mainstream media. And we're going to get to CBS and the 60 Minutes interview with Donald Trump last night and all that stuff and some allegations about the BBC as well. But this one takes the cake. So it just happened a short time ago. Whoopi Goldberg, you see, was on set and apparently started spouting off something about how she thought that Donald Trump had auto-penned the pardon of a crypto billionaire. And it didn't go over that well with the bosses. You see, the bosses kind of got upset. The brass at ABC is like, whoa, 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 what did she say? And so then they had to hand her a legal note the next thing you know, right? And she gets so mad, she starts tearing the thing up on set. Let's watch together.
And the other insane thing is that when people are going to go to their meetings with the judge, the meetings that they're supposed to go to, when they're listening to what the hell, what?
I love
that's the note.
Notes.
We don't know if Trump used an auto pen to part. It was a joke.
Yeah. We don't know if Trump used an auto pen to
part. Come on.
But we do know that he didn't know who that crypto guy was.
Well, I'm sorry. The hardest thing about this job now
She's ripping it up.
No one understands nuance. When you hear a joke, when somebody's fooling around, when they're not saying something specific, especially on this show. I'm very specific when I'm pointing stuff out. When I'm making jokes, you know when I'm making jokes. This is ridiculous.
Okay, so that was because he said on 60 Minutes last night that he wasn't familiar with this one guy known as CZ, who's like a crypto billionaire. He wasn't that familiar with who he was. Of course, we didn't see the entire interview because they only showed a brief, 27 minutes of the something like 74 minutes that were actually recorded. Think about that. We're going to get to it in a second, but here's the whole spiel. So this dust up came, right, as they were discussing the 60 Minutes interview and the fact that he didn't seem to know who CZ was. Again, I would want to go back and look at the whole 74 minutes to really understand that. He said something to the effect of his sons knew them and that he thought that he was somebody who had been a victim of the weaponization of the Justice Department. Don't forget that a lot of people within the crypto space were not exactly treated well by the Biden administration, who absolutely hated crypto, even though I'm just saying it is. I know, Don, if you're watching, I know you don't like crypto, but the reality is the tokenization is the future for everything. And that's why the Texas Stock Exchange is probably hands down going to have a much better future than the New York Stock Exchange, because they're going to tokenize all this stuff on the blockchain, and that's how you're going to trade stocks. Anyway, I digress. So he pardon this guy, and she's saying, oh, it was an auto pardon then, and she gets a note from her bosses. But here's the thing, like, this woman has a history of saying just outlandish, nutty stuff. I mean, the other day, she was going on and on about how, I'm sorry, Iran is a better place to live as a minority or as a woman than the United States of America. I'm like, am I hearing things? I don't know how this woman collects a paycheck on television. I really don't watch.
It is not even the same. I couldn't step foot during this.
Wait. That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit in Toronto.
Killed for I'm sorry.
What, they were like listen, no, I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you, as
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes, it is up to them.
And that's why I am saying that it is the same.
What?
So that's why I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go to Tehran. Do not, no one at this table should go to Tehran.
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But, yeah, I know that. And we all know that. But every day, we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? They are not big deals, and I don't mean to say they're not big deals to you, because that's not what I meant.
And they are not doing well there either. They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated.
I mean,
They are
it's
not
stupid.
from the United States.
I'm talking about here.
Nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That is no one's intent.
Good.
But when you start telling us, Whoopi, that you'd be better off living in Iran, you know what? Go there, go there, go there. Enjoy it. I mean, heck, just don't come back, okay? This is irresponsible television, and this is what the FCC is getting upset about because, as I told you guys before, this is not cable. You can actually get away with saying some of this crazy stuff all day long on cable, but on FCC-controlled airwaves, which ABC owned by Disney has, you can't do it, okay? Plain and simple. And yet this woman keeps coming back for more. Every single time you turn around, Whoopi Goldberg's got another winner here. Oh, here's the other day, okay? This is just last week. She thinks Donald Trump is definitely going to take a third term. You understand, this is a Democrat talking point designed to scare the living daylights out of people. We've been hearing Gavin Newsom say it ad nauseum. I mean, it's gotten to the point where Trump's now having some fun. He's sending Gavin 2028 hats just for fun. Because, we like to do a little trolling. Just a little. Anyway, here's Whoopi. I mean, again, she should have gotten a note for this one. Would she have torn that up too? Lady, you got some problems.
So, just so we're clear, you have nothing to say about any of this. Just understand that. Okay? Republicans have pretty much given him free rein up till now. Are they going to let this happen? Are y'all going to let it happen? Just asking.
It's like she's definitely trying to scare people. And so I guess today they just hit a breaking point. Management's like, okay, we got to get this woman under control. So they pass her a note. And then she just rips it up into little shreds and throws a temper tantrum on the set. It tells me, one, she doesn't respect her bosses. Okay, I get it. I haven't necessarily respected all my bosses either. But two, it tells me that there's no desire to have any kind of sensibility for truth. Now, if this was just the lone thing, right, and you joked and you said, maybe he pardoned him, maybe you could excuse that and say, okay, nobody has a sense of humor right now, but we're talking about a myriad of things, right? One after another, whether you're trying to tell us it's better to live as an American woman in Iran today or as a black woman in Iran today, whether you're trying to tell us as though it's fact that Donald Trump is running again, or whether you're trying to tell us, oh, here's another doozy, another one. The taxpayers are going to pay for the ballroom when in fact, actually, he already got the money from a whole bunch of corporations. It's like, lady, why do you keep lying? And now the bosses are saying, okay, enough is enough. We can't have this continue. And there's a reason for that. I'll explain.
And FDR had added the swimming pool, I think. Barack Obama added a basketball court. President Trump's going to add the greatest improvement to the White House in the history of the building since it was originally constructed in 1800. The ballroom is going to be glorious.
Mike, I just want to point out that none of those things were done without permission. Everybody knew it was happening. This, nobody knew when it was happening. Nobody knows how it's happening. You say that it's being paid for by other people, but it's always going to come down to the people. The people are always going to end up paying something. So I don't understand why you don't get that people are saying, wait a minute. Nobody asked. I don't remember asking for a ballroom.
Right. And also to say that Obama put in a basketball court is like saying, oh, should we do bath fitters and put in a bathroom or should we knock the whole house down?
Right.
That's basically the difference.
I think
She's on fire today.
I have it with him.
Yeah, I'm sorry. By the way, he got rid of the tennis court and put in the basketball court. Obama did. And it costs roughly $327 million, which in today's dollars is somewhere around $540 to $560 million. I'm just saying, because this whole thing is around $300 million in today's dollars. Okay, so it's a fraction of the cost. Oh, and dare I forget, Barack Obama and Michelle, they couldn't possibly live in the White House the way it was. They had to redo the whole interior for the first family. So add that one onto it too. At the time, CNN was ecstatic. I showed you guys that clip last week. They were like, wow, we're getting renovations at the White House. The taxpayers were funding, and that was all A-okay. But, they're trying to spout some kind of different narrative when you've got the likes of, I don't know, Amazon, Apple, Caterpillar, Coinbase, Comcast. Woo! Comcast. You know who Comcast is. Comcast is the employer of one Rachel Maddow. And all of those people over at NBC. Wait a second, did I see Disney on that list? Gosh darn it, no Disney on that list. Maybe Disney felt like it got left out. I don't know. But listen, this is the problem right now for The View and for Disney's ABC. They are not on cable. They are on FCC airwaves, and there is a different standard. And you are supposed to serve your community. Go back to the 1933-34 Communications Act laws. And I know when I worked in network television, it was very, very, very sort of parsed out. We were always very careful. Of course, this was like eons ago, okay? Like that's how it feels, because ever since Donald Trump came on the scene, like all the journalistic standards that you might abide by, right out the window, okay? So I felt so free when I got to cable, because it was like, oh, I don't have to like be so careful about this word and that word, and I get to actually talk. I mean, and hey, over here, make sure you subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff, because it is a whole different ballgame over here. It's like, I went to Disneyland back when Disneyland was actually something. Disney, ABC, they've got a tough time because Brendan Carr, head of the FCC, is all over their tail. And he's going to look at this and all of what Whoopi has been saying and say, okay, enough is enough, because, you can only lie so many times, which is why the producers decided to slip her that little note, which she had a fit about and tore up into shreds. My take on it, she's not going to last. I mean, it's really now, I mean, insiders are saying this, and I would predict it's only a matter of time. I'm not entirely sure The View, as we know it, stays in action, in part just because of the changing mechanics of this media landscape, where you don't really need a live studio audience anymore, and all the people that you have to employ to wrangle the live studio audience, including those that you got to say, okay, now clap, everybody cheer. When Whoopi says one of her stupid things that she says, and believe me, I mean, I'm just being very opinionated here. I think she's utterly kind of stupid. I mean, I think she's probably street smart, because you'll notice sometimes she'll pull it back. Maybe after Bob Iger has called her up, that would be the CEO of Disney saying, hey, we got to tone it down. But then this little move today, tearing up the note live on set, shows you she really doesn't have much of a compass at all. So, look, Disney's a mess. They keep producing bad content. They're trying to figure out how they can manage with ESPN, and they're trying to reinvent that thing. They couldn't find a buyer, by the way, for all their cable entities. And they didn't, I guess, have the idea to spin them off like Warner Brothers Discovery wants to do, or like Comcast is doing with MSNBC and all of its other cable properties that have turned into total liabilities, on top of which they've just had one flop after another. Have they not? But you know what I get news from? I found a good one. I found this little one online. I think this could actually work. Hey, Disney, you listening up? For my short Hey, Disney, I got a new one for you.
In a town full of voices talking past each other, 6 neighbors discover what they share.
It's not about the noise. It's about common sense.
Common Sense, the movie.
That might actually work. Ooh. It's a joke. That's like Sora had created that. And anyway, like maybe that would work. I don't know. I think you're going to have a lot more problems at The View. The ratings are not what they used to be. No surprise there. And Whoopi Goldberg is, in my estimation, rather talentless. And I don't know how she has that job. I don't think she's especially talented person or individual. There's no tremendous insight that comes across with anything she tells us. So, okay, Disney, if I'm you, I cut my losses right now. I get rid of the whole thing. Hey, give it back to the affiliates. They want the time anyway, and they could do more with it. Trust me, though the bar is low. Really, really low.